friends, and welcome to another episode of Shenaniganalandia here at Coaster Monkey Studios. And yes, we're celebrating a merry little Christmas today. And in this episode, we've got some fun stuff for you. We are building out the port side of our wave pool. So the port side, if you don't know what the port side is, that's the left side of a ship, right? So we're building out the port side of our wave pool, and fun stories. So as we're building this, I pulled up a bunch of pictures and stuff for research, and I was like, oh, well, let us build out something that's pirate. So I Googled pirate, and I see this picture, and I just start building. And lo and behold, it turns out that building is the Pirates of the Caribbean building. Did not know it. We learned something new every day. So we did build a variation of the Pirates of the Caribbean building, 100% did, and I take no fault in that whatsoever. I am 100% okay with building a copy of what could or couldn't be the Pirates of the Caribbean. I can't say it. Anyway, so here we are building out the start of this. So I wanted to keep with a terracotta roof, kind of like we did over in the theme park. I love the terracotta. It's a really clean look, and I think it works really well for what we're going after for this Pirates of the Caribbean kind of play on video, right? So it was very much so the terracotta top for the structure of this ride, with a ton of these wood pillars that you find in the resort pack. Now, do I think this was the best move? I wasn't sure at first, but then I saw an actual ride tower, a water ride tower with the same type of logging, which I thought was really cool and very interesting to see. And we used it, we went with it. So I'm happy with that. I think this whole side kind of really, it does exactly what it needs to do. It elevates the overall presence of the pirate theme and really puts you inside of a feeling, right? Again, the most theming that this park is going to have, it is going to be these structures, right? The rides are not going to have massive amounts of theming. They're just going to be a structure or a building. You know, if you look at the building we did for the other water tower, it's not going to be anything too crazy. So my thought process is that the port side, this is all going to be like the Caribbean town, right? So the Caribbean town was... this is the town that was invaded by the pirates. I don't know. That's what we're going to say. And the other side, we're going to make a shanty town, right? So we're going to make it really beat up, really busted up. The idea is to make it look and feel like that's where the pirates live. And this is maybe the Caribbean town where the British live, right? So that's kind of the idea that we're going to go with. And I think I'm going to stick with this Pirates of the Caribbean kind of play on building structure. So I'm going to do a little bit of research of the actual Pirates of the Caribbean ride itself and kind of dig into what that building structure looks like, especially on the pirate island. And I can't remember the name of the island. It was like Skull Island or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But here we are. We're taking that same feeling of the logs with the terracotta roofs. We're bringing it down to the queue. Do not mind this queue path. I fix it off camera because I hate this queue system right now. I'm not a fan. We did build, speaking of fans, we did build fans, new fans for the pirate area. It's very simple. They're dark brown. They're a metal base with the same paddles we've been using for the fans. So that's very clean, very simple that we did there. And again, for queue covers, I wanted to connect these, but I didn't like the way the underside looked. I could have set up the queue to fit in these exactly so you can have like a direct line, so it would be a cleaner kind of roof line, but I really just didn't want to do that, to be honest with you. It was one of those decisions where I was just like, I think it looks better off skew, or askew I should say, off kilter, askew, however we want to say it, and that's how I kept it. So here we are putting in the fences for the queue, and Michael, I was on a chat with Michael in live. We did build this on live. Speaking of, we go live almost every day here at Coaster Monkey Studios, so you're more than welcome to join us here on YouTube. But we did put in these basic fences, and Michael was like, well, here in the UK, I was like, yes, This, unfortunately, is not a UK park. I am born and raised in America. I am building this as if it was put somewhere in here in the Northeast. The idea is taking like that kind of energy. I think of like the Hurricane Harbor that's built here in New Jersey, you know, and it's built in the woods, literally in the woods of New Jersey, in the center of Jackson, New Jersey, and yet their water park is meant to look like it is a tropical island, you know, that's been hit by a hurricane. Speaking of hurricanes, so it's pouring right now in the game, and thank goodness in this last update we did get some updates to that. The weather, we're able to adjust the weather now. If it does start to rain, we can make it stop, which is great. We can make it rain. I do wish, it's still too sunny though. I wish it would get cloudy like it does in Planet Zoo, you know. So that's, I think, a miss and something they need to definitely look at for the game, for sure. But as we build this out, we're thinking about, you know, kind of what does the area around and underneath the water slides look like. It's gravel. It's gravel. All the edging has dirt around it. It's very basic, and this is how it's built out in all the water parks that I've ever been. You know, it's either concrete or it's gravel underneath. So we did do that. Anywhere that we did put foliage, we stuck in this beach bush, I think it's called. I can't remember. I don't remember. Pine nuts. I don't know. But we did do that, and then we've got a ton of like this bush here that we've dug into, stuffed into the ground, just to make it feel like there's a trim work there, or some type of foliage that is trim work. So here we are. We've made it to the Pirates of the Caribbean-esque building. And yes, I know it's Pirates of the Caribbean. It's not Pirates of the Caribbean. It's not a Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Don't come for me in the comments that it's a bait and switch. There's no bait and switch happening. I'm not bait and switching in any of my videos. So just to clarify, I'm not trying to scam anybody. These are just, this is just how my brain works. I'm silly, I'm funny, I'm quirky. There is that cannon. I will throw that cannon build somewhere else. I think we're going to put it on the other side when we build out the whole shanty town for the pirates. We are going to put those cannons on the other side. I built a full cannon, which I think works really well. There was a builder in the Bro Nation Discord. I don't know if you guys remember Bro Nation or not. If you are, you know, kudos. If you're not, come join us. We kind of have a lot of fun there. But in the Bro Nation Discord, and somebody built the most amazing ship with cannons. I mean, it's not pirate ship to me. I don't think it seems very like British Armada kind of ship, but it's stunning. It is probably one of the most beautiful ships I've ever seen somebody build in the game, without an actual pirate pack. So definitely check that out. It's just so beautiful. Anyway, moving on to my build, which is remotely beautiful. Pat on the back. So here we are. We use the plaster pieces again, just like we did over in the theme park, and our terracotta roofs. And again, as you can see, it's starting to take the shape of the entrance to the Pirates of the Caribbean building. So in hindsight, as I'm looking at this now, I would love to come back and kind of rethink some things here. I think I may want to add some wrought iron fencing to some of these. Maybe we add like a faux wrought iron fence to the entrance of the water flume here, as well as for the archways that we'll be putting in a second that wrap around, or that are outside of the restrooms. So as you can see, a pretty big jump cut. We went from the white to this pale yellow. This pale yellow does change. My whole thought process was the pale yellow was just, it was too light. It needed to be more of like a brown to kind of play with the terracotta. Thanks for that suggestion, Nitro230. Appreciate you 100% on that one, because you really came in the clutch, kind of balancing out, I think, the color story that we're telling here to kind of play up with this Caribbean kind of vibe. The balcony up here that we put in, I think it does exactly what it needs to do. It's minimal. It's not overdone. You know, it feels like it's just somebody's balcony, and that's what we want it to feel like. Again, we're not trying to theme too much. These are just structures that exist. With very minimal theming. And these are the archways I was talking about, where I want to add maybe the wrought iron fencing. We'll figure out kind of what that looks like. I haven't figured that out yet. I haven't really put my brain into that yet. But we'll do that probably in our next episode. We'll do some touch-ups on this side. Then we'll run over to the starboard side of our pool. You like my maritime verbiage there, huh? Kind of my terminology, making it sound like I'm a pirate. Army hearty. Anyway, so doors. I hate the doors in this game. There are very few doors that I enjoy, so we did kind of make our own. As you see here, me struggling trying to figure out something that'll work for this. So we take our resort fence, give it a frame and a handle, and boom, that's just a very basic door, and I think it works out perfectly. The handle I thought was really cool too. It's like a pull handle, like a pull bar that we did. We actually took, I think it's one of the pieces from the new supports that we got, and I think it does exactly what it needs to do. It makes it look like a giant pull handle. There you go. See, it's support bracket 5. For those of you who are looking for it, support bracket 5. Okay. So from here, again, my new favorite piece in the game, this resort wall decor. This is just it's our wooden beam, but this wooden beam shrinks down to 25%, and that is how we're able to get this really clean line that we have here for the fencing. You know, we did the 0.25 spacing, and I think it looks so good, and it does exactly what it needs to do. You know what I mean? It gives the feeling of a wooden fence, you know, that was been there forever. It's got like this rustic kind of look to it. Here we are with the Viking windows. I love this window. We've used this window a lot already, but I feel like this window could have easily been made too. So, you know, something for the future, maybe we come back and try to build those, right? And again, for up here on this balcony, it's very minimal. As you see, the flooring's already been put down. We changed out that flooring, just like we did up top for the landing of the Kraken water flume. We take the jetty floor or the jetty bottom, and we use the jetty bottom for this building and just make it very clean kind of looking. Well, as clean as a raw kind of wood floor would look. See, there you go. Those are, oh, we didn't use the jetties. I lied. It was not the jetties. We actually took the door that we made, and we made it flat. We took it flat, and that gave us this like planked floor, which I kind of love. Here we are using the wooden tails from the Viking kit as our supports for our beams, and I think they look great. And this really made me start thinking, can you get away with Western? Do we build a Western section? Let me know in the comments below. Do we build a Western section? You know, speaking of comments, I'm going to throw it in here. Ready? Like, comment, subscribe. I hate saying it, but you know what? I think it's important to say in every video, because if you want to continue to grow the channel, to make it easier for me to build this content for you guys, that's what we want to do. I'm not trying to get famous. I'm not trying to make bank. I'm just having fun. You know what I mean? So if you want to join me in having fun, you're more than welcome to. Ooh, these begonias. Stop it right now. Look at how easy it is to make like a vining flower. How great is this? Shut up on how great this is. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And I'm here for it. I'm sold. So we do this in a number of spots around here. I love these hangings. We'll probably have these hanging begonias in a number of areas throughout the game. I just love the look of it. Maybe we'll do some hanging plants off of some of our light posts as well. I think that's great to do. And again, a lot of this stuff, it's just we're using the pieces we have in the game. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I love the stuff that other creators are doing by building things from scratch, building so much from scratch. But I don't have the time for that. You know, I work a very aggressive job. I work in marketing and social media, and it's aggressive for me to do that and then to come do this every night. So I do what I can. You know what I mean? I build where I can, and I hope you guys are liking what I'm building, you know? Anyway, so here we are. We're putting in our toilet section. This is our toilet sign. It's just like we did over in the theme park. You know, it's a very sharp look for sure, for kind of what we do. And then we wind up moving this back and then put some lighting on it towards the end. I do not show the lighting in this video. I feel like it's kind of, you know, the simplest thing to put lighting. But if you want to see the lighting, let me know. I'll show you guys how I do lighting. It's a very interesting trick that I kind of play up when it comes to lighting. But here we are pulling our begonias down to our buckets, and then I wanted some sort of vining, so I built up these wall crawlers And this is what I call them in regular, but these are kind of like wall crawlers. We use this ivy up the wall and kind of set it up accordingly. And again, to bring that cohesion, we bring this fence all around this area. Now, in this little corner here, one thing I didn't have over here that somebody said we should have by every water ride is this, oh, I can't remember the name of the store, but it's the water ride store. It's got the floaties, it's got the sunscreen. No one shops at it, ever, literally. But it exists, you know what I mean? So somebody said that we should put them by every water ride. So that's what I'm going to try and do for the rest of the water park here. Just kind of build these out within each one of these areas. Oh, and this quarter wall. So this, I guess it's wainscoting. It's a wall decor, but it's like a tile. I love this, especially in like this terracotta. I think it really adds to the vibe of like this like Caribbean kind of feeling for this portion of the build. And then we use this same trim work to build out just some more of this around the shops themselves in this area. And this is where we kind of skew a little bit further away from that Pirates of the Caribbean facade and make it a little bit more of our own. Again, we don't want to copy. We want to be able to create our own concept of stuff, right? And use the actual buildings as our inspiration. At least that's how I build. Again, build however you want, however you like it. So here I am. I'm putting these in just to show you like the process and kind of how I did it. But I built out these planters, and I didn't love how it looked once it was fully built out. It was not the vibe for me. Not at all. Which is okay. It doesn't have to be the vibe. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my screen here so I can see where we are. So yeah, so I put these in. I didn't love how they looked. I wound up coming back and I rebuild that, and I'll show you how I rebuilt that. So here we are. Check these out. These bistro tables from Remnant. They're iron. They're stunning. I don't know how he got those tubes so tiny, but these are gorgeous, and it really just elevates the look and feel of the area. Technically, there's nowhere to sit to eat for our guests, so maybe we're going to be putting in some of those in more towards like the entrance portion of this area, just so there are seating moments within this area to sit and eat for our guests. But I love these chairs from Remnant. And then right here, we bring back our Adirondack chairs from Leaf. These are phenomenal. We love these Adirondack chairs. They're so great. So here we are. We took out those other planters and we're putting in the planters that I think work better for the area. They're larger, they have palm trees. And one thing you'll notice as I'm building in my speed build is I do a lot of pulling back, pushing forward. So we're checking sight lines. And one thing I did notice is we didn't have the height that we needed for this area. I really wanted it to be like a reveal moment. So from far away, and you'll see it in the glamour shots at the end of the video, is that from far away, you see all of this stuff blocking. You've got the cabanas here blocking the area. You've got the palm trees blocking the area. So as you wrap around the wave pool and come around this little corner here, you really get this plaza reveal, which I love. And it's just a vibe, and it really sets the tone. And as you can see, I'm doing layers here. So I started with the base layer of the mulch, and then above that, the low-lying ferns, the larger leafed ferns, and then we've got the palm trees that come out the center. Here we are just adding more of that tiled wainscoting along the bottom. And I think it really just does elevate the area. And this is what I love. So we were able to create a little condiment cart thanks to, and I can't remember the name of the creator. Here, I'm getting excited. Look. I can't remember the name of the creator, but you're going to find it right now. Here it is. So Dusty Binder. So Dusty Binder built these amazing condiment dispensers. There we go. And Dusty Binder, they also made these amazing napkin holders that we kind of modified just a little bit by using the here you're going to see here Dusty Binder made the dispensers, and then I grabbed these drapes and throw them at the bottom, and boom, you've got napkins sticking out of the bottom. Like, shut up. Such an easy little like tweak to that amazing content, that amazing piece of art, right, that they created. So here we are. We took out the dryer. I don't like the dryer. I think the dryer was silly. We'll put a dryer back in somewhere, but it's not going to be here. I really needed a back of house space for our areas. I just realized we don't have a door for our staff to get in and out of. great. We're gonna have to add a door to this building for the staff. I can't believe I did that. All right, we'll add doors. So here we are on the back side of this facade. We wanted to create, because I felt like it looked too flat. We needed some dimension to have it like kind of pop just a little bit. So this is what we're doing here. We're putting that in, and it's very trompe l'oeil kind of vibe, right? So the idea is that we have this recession at the top. This will create another balcony, right? And then along the bottom facade, we build out the trompe l'oeil with just like some facades. So at my theme park where I work, we have our main store, right? But along the whole side of our main store, there are all these faux facades of brownstones. And it's literally just facades with like little staircases and like little stuff. There's faux balconies, there's faux windows, faux doors, faux stoops. So we kind of created that energy here on the backside of this building. And I really think it does exactly what it needs to do by giving the dimension that the rear of this building needed, especially when this is the exit portion or the exit pool of our water ride, the Kraken, right? And as you can see, we went from colorful to black for the Kraken. I just felt like it looked like a giant squid with all of the tentacles going, ah, right? So I probably just blew out the mic there. But yeah, so as we're building this out here, we've got just some really solid things that we did on the front that we brought to the backside of the building and really just duplicated kind of that energy, right? We didn't want to oversell it, but again, we wanted to be clean and clear. We did bring our planters over to this side too. This is another thing we have. We have a lot of plants, right? A lot of greenery. I haven't done a lot of flowers. If you've not noticed that throughout this build yet, we don't have a lot of flowers, and I don't know what the flower situation will be like. I don't know if we're going to bring a lot of flowers to the table. Because even my park, we don't have many flowers. We have flowers in our main thoroughfare, and that's it. There's very few flowers. Oh, and a couple of our rides, our newer rides that we opened for 2024. But here we are building out more vines. I love it. And even around the bottom of the balcony, if you just swing it underneath just a little bit, it creates that feeling of like the hanging vinage, which we really love. I really love. I think it was a very clean look for sure. Here we are trying to get that balance out, and I feel like the door was moved too far over to one side. Oh, there goes more of Leaf's Adirondack chairs. Thanks, Leaf. But here we moved that over and we kind of balanced that out. So as we wrap up this video, we're looking at building out our sign here. So this is super fun. So this is actually a tattoo of a squid, right? So my idea was to take this squid tattoo and just go ham with it. You know what I mean? And have a good time. I think it came out amazing. It was a lot of trial and error and kind of figuring out how I wanted it to look. Like, what is the feeling gonna feel like? How do we get that symmetry and that balance? And as I look at it more and more and more, I've got some other ideas. I'm going to come back and probably tweak on it. I think the black is too harsh. I think we need to go one step down. So it's a little bit more of like a very dark gray. Because compared to the actual slide itself in the background, it looks stark black versus this like almost like dark gray. So we're going to be adjusting that accordingly. The other thing we did is we created depth with our tentacles by giving them different heights or whatever. And then the final thing that I think I'm going to come back and do is I think I want to take the word Kraken that we've created and give it more of like just a little bit of depth. Like maybe it's like 3-tiered, like 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tier. So almost like it's like shrinking in. So that's just where my head went with that. I think we're going to play with a couple of those things before we get into our next build or at the top of our next build. We'll do these minor tweaks. But tell me what you think. Do you like this? Do you think this is a great sign? Like, what are your thoughts? Here we are. We're taking the editable text and we are adding it here to our build. And what I love about this is that these are sizable, or you can resize these. You could fill them in, you can balance them out, and it gives us the subtle hints that we needed for this. And this is why I think the white, it's too white. The text is too white, the gray, the black is too black, right? So I think we need to balance that out a little bit more because it just, I feel like it's too harsh. It looks too cartoony, and I want to step away from that a little bit. But yeah, here we are. This is it. We love it. We think it looks great. I think it looks great, and I hope you guys too do too. So with that being said, as we wrap up this video and get to the end, thank you so much for being a part of the Coaster Monkey community here in Shenaniganlandia. I appreciate every single one of you that like, comment, subscribe, hang out with me on lives. You guys are awesome, and I want to wish you all the most amazing holiday ever. Have a happy new year. We're gonna have another video coming out next Sunday, and I think we're gonna go to once a week videos. But here you are. We're gonna wrap up this video here. Thanks so much again, and have yourselves an amazing holiday. And until the next one, keep on building, friends.